Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Fortress of Comic News, episode 415. I'm one of your hosts, Chris, alongside the co-host here, Mike. What's going on, Mike?
Nothing much. Just chilling. Got some comics to talk about. Got Jonathan Hedrick back on the show. Hedrick on the show. Sorry. All the way from Italy. He's chatting to us.
From Italia.
Taking a break from eating some spaghetti. And he's going to chat with us about his new book, Atticus and the Magical Pillow Fort. So, yes, it sounds as awesome as it is. We're going to be talking to him about that coming up.
Good, clean fun.
Baseball season has started, so there's that.
Yeah. How was your opening day?
Opening day was a win for the Red Sox. How was your opening day?
Also a win.
Yeah, and now it's all been losses, buddy. Have you seen this shit about the Yankees? Can we just talk about baseball for a second? Have you seen the shit? So, what do you... This is not a baseball podcast, but I've been... What is it? Nine home runs and set a franchise record, and they're using different bats than everybody else, but the MLB says it's okay. Hot take.
This is one of those things about baseball that frustrates the fuck out of me.
Because they scrutinize everything.
I'm not the biggest baseball fan in the world. It's it's probably my second favorite sport, but for me, football is year round.
Yeah.
But baseball, people in baseball and then the fans around it are so obsessed with like the history and the nuance of the game.
Yeah.
But then we let shit like this happen.
Yeah.
And we're just like, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. Well, and it's like, I feel like any other team would, it's like the Yankees are like the untouchable stuff like.
Well, that's my thing. If Mark McGwire played for the Yankees, nobody would have cared about the steroid era. I'm telling you.
Yeah. Like,
I hate the Yankees so fucking much.
I know. Everyone loves. We're gonna lose all our Yankee fans.
I don't care.
But what I'm gonna say is, there's a direct correlation. Baseball is one of those sports that literally such small changes can be directly impacted. It is like every game is a statistical analysis. That's why you have all these crazy nerds, myself, that I don't get into the numbers, but there's literally so many stats, and they do it with football, but there's not as many games. Now imagine if football had 120 games or something, and it's crazy. But then when you change something like the bat structure, and then you hit a franchise record of over, 100 years, Chris, in one day, it might be a direct correlation there. I don't know.
With your team that is inarguably worse than last year.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
It's also, we've done this before.
Yes.
With like the corked bat thing.
Yeah.
We've dealt with different bat shit before, and they've always said like, no, it's not good.
Yeah.
Fucking Yankees do it. It's like, oh, that's fine.
Yeah.
Also, if I was the Yankees, why would you do this on day 2 of the season?
Yeah. Right.
Wouldn't you wait till late September?
Yeah,
like
right.
October?
When it really counts,
Because 100% now, this is going to go on for a couple months.
Everybody's going to get bats. Next week, we're going to see everybody new bats.
And then either everybody's going to get it, or the MLB is going to say, enough, we're done.
Yeah, MLB said it was all right.
For now.
Oh. Until the Yankees hit 20 more home runs today.
Yeah, or the hardcore fans start blowing the fucking fit and going, oh, we're not watching anymore, and then they're going to change their mind.
Yeah.
That's why if you would have waited till like late in the season, end of the season, by the way.
Yeah.
It would have been way better, because then there would have been a time to do anything. We all just would have been like, that's a World Series with an asterisk, and they would have been like, but it's still a World Series.
Yeah, exactly. Because Yankees fans are the worst. They're insufferable. Anyways, okay. That's it. I wanted to bring that up because it is opening day, which is a big deal for me and baseball fans. And no, there's no baseball comics though, which is kind of sad.
There are. We're going to talk about one later, Mike.
Oh, really? Okay, yes. Coming up. Yeah, coming out. But
because I got in the mood, and one of our favorite publishers put out a baseball comic, so I read the early copy. Yes.
Shit. Okay, I gotta look at those. All right, so let's dig into it then. We had some. So I'm gonna be honest. I'm not caught up in Daredevil when we go to talk about that, but let's talk about it. And some set photos were leaked from Daredevil Born Again Season 2. So we see Charlie Cox in a Daredevil suit with the comic accurate red double D on, and the all black version of the suit looks epic. I mean, those shots, and they're straight from the Shadowlands run that you shared. Yeah, the suit looks amazing.
Yeah, it looks great. I'm really excited for it. And as you said, I posted the link there for us. But anyone that wants to look it up, just Google Shadowlands. and you'll find the wiki, the Marvel wiki, with the picture in it, straight out of that book, which makes me think that season 2 is going to be Daredevil with the hand trying to resurrect Foggy. Like, that's my prediction for season 2.
That would be amazing.
Because that's what Shadowlands basically was, is Daredevil was head dude for the hand for a little bit, and shit got a little weird in the Marvel Universe.
Yep.
So, I think it looks cool. I like the idea of doing that for the show. And just having him in a suit. I'm all for.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that in a second. But yeah, this is really cool. I love this.
Yeah, speaking of him in the suit, so I'm gonna be honest, I was gonna catch up before recording today, and I gotta travel next week, so I was like, I'll just save it for the plane, because I got halfway through episode 5. And I never watched Miss Marvel. And I know that, I guess that's Kamala Khan's dad, right? And you know, he's all about her working at the bank. But man, you know, these robbers come in, we're doing the whole Dark Knight scene with Batman, you know, robbing the bank with Irish folks on St. Patrick's Day. They mentioned Guinness so many times. I'm like, how much did Guinness spend on this episode?
A lot.
The cops are like, we got Guinness out here, there's Guinness out there. It's like, okay, I get it. It's St. Patrick's Day. Still no suit, and he's kind of sitting in the bank. It's like halfway through the episode. I was like, damn, we're still... And that's kind of where I paused it for now. But can you catch me up on what's going on with these 2 episodes?
Okay, I'll have some good news for you at the end of this.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so this also, I don't think you watched The Marvels, which was a positive life decision on your side. But this also helps explain a moment in The Marvels where Matt Murdock shows up at Kamala Khan's house. So yeah, it's a whole bank robber sequence. I thought it was a good episode and kind of important to show that what we talked about last week, he's still a hero, and he still has that like that feeling in him that he needs to use his abilities for these things. And that's what this whole episode was about. And then, you know, also kind of diving into the whole seedy underbelly of the police in town, how the robbers were actually cops. That's why they knew a lot of the things they knew throughout the episode. And it also gave us, I wrote some notes down, so I'll make sure I hit everything. That's next episode. So yeah, so it basically was that.
Yeah.
Which then leads into the episode 6, where episode 6 does a lot. And it's probably my favorite episode so far, because it's, in my eyes, kind of the beginning of the show. And
we're just getting started now.
Yeah. This is, so in episode 6, Fisk starts the anti-vigilante task force, which is big.
Yep.
And so all those bad cops you've met throughout the season, they're in the task force, because according to Fisk, they get shit done.
Of course they do.
And then you get introduced to a new cop, and you get what he did, which is essentially beat a man to death, and then move to New York and become a cop.
Classic.
Yeah. It did something that I didn't think they were going to do, which I'm really happy they did, because I think it's really important to the characters' DNA and bones, which is they reintroduced Matt Murdock as a Catholic. And I know some people may roll their eyes at that, but I feel like his Catholicism, his Catholic guilt, that community is a big part of who that character is.
Yeah, for sure.
And if you go back and read, especially like Kevin Smith's Daredevil run and everything, it just, so much of that is in there. And that guilt is what leads him to the second half of the episode, where Mike, he puts the suit back on.
Thank God. Wonderful. That's what I needed to hear.
So we also, throughout this episode, get introduced properly to Muse, the villain of this season. And how that all kind of coalesces together is they figure out what Muse is doing, that he's using human blood to create these murals. So he's had this giant serial killer inside of the past year that's killed possibly 60 or more people. And the person he ends up picking up is the daughter of White Tiger, who Matt Murdock has been kind of helping behind the scenes, trying to deal with what happened to her father and everything.
Yep.
And when he hears that, that's the impetus to, I'm putting the suit back on, I'm going fucking this guy up.
Going
and
out.
We get a great fight sequence. We get to see what Muse is doing behind the scenes. So many good parts of that episode that were like, for me, it's like, okay, this is what I wanted. I wanted the dude in the red suit fighting supervillains. So I think these 2 episodes are really great.
Thank God they released them together.
Yeah, if this was 2 weeks, I probably would be where you're standing, and I'd be frustrated.
Yeah,
that episode 5 didn't have a suit.
I honestly didn't realize there was 2 episodes until just now. So
So I always say I don't listen to comic book podcasts because we host one, but
Uh,
there is one that I listen to because I've listened to it for like
yeah.
15 years at this point, and they're less news and more like culture. And they were talking about it. I was like, everybody just be warned, there's 2 episodes this week. And I was like, oh, okay. And if I didn't hear that, I wouldn't have known.
Yeah, I just saw it was like continue with episode 5, and I'm halfway through it. I'm like, there's no way he's leaving the bank to get his Daredevil suit. There's no unless he like airdrops it. Like, he's not getting his Daredevil suit. Man,
like in Arkham City, when fucking just shoots it down.
Shoot it down. Yeah.
No,
he's not rich like Batman. He can't do that.
Yeah, I wrote out there episode 6, the one you want to get through. And if you were not happy at the end of that, then just stop watching, because that's really.
Does he drink a Guinness while he's in the sub? Man, I love it. Okay, yeah, okay, I'll have to go back. I'm going to finish that tonight, I think. Okay, so the big news from this week, Chris. This, to me, when I was telling people, this is Marvel's attempt to get everybody back into the MCU. You know what I mean? Like, they're trying to get everybody as pumped and hyped as they can for Avengers Doomsday. And they did this big reveal party / video where they went through and did all the cast and who's going to take part in the movie. I mean, besides Robert Downey Jr. as Doctor Doom, right? That was the only announcement we really had. So they started announcing cast, right? So, Chris Hemsworth, Thor, Tom Hiddleston, Loki, Anthony Mackie, Captain America, Paul Rudd, Ant-Man, Letitia Wright from Black Panther, Simu Liu from Shang-Chi, Danny Ramirez, the Falcon, Winston Duke, M'Baku. Like, those are all folks that, we've seen before, I would say.
Yeah, that we'd expect to be.
That we would expect, right? So then we got Sebastian Stan, Winter Soldier, Florence Pugh is Yelena, Wyatt Russell, U.S. Agent, David Harbour. Again, you have these are all the Thunderbolts that'll be in it. Red Guardian, Ghost. Okay, so then we get to the juicy stuff, the stuff that probably I don't think a lot of people expected. So they're saying, okay, we're bringing back X-Men actors. You can maybe like Michael Fassbender. No, we're bringing back the old X-Men actors. Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen were the 2 first, which was insane. Also, those guys aren't acting much anymore. I think they're in their 80s now, Chris. I can't imagine they're going to be doing a whole lot. But I do want to see Ian McKellen wearing the Magneto suit, because I'm like, what does an 80-something-year-old do? Look at the Magneto.
He looks like Magneto.
He looks like Magneto. Yeah, he looks like a really old Magneto.
This is my only thing.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to kill Professor X in this movie.
No.
I've already watched him die 3 times.
I know. It's like, come on, dude. We've already seen him. So we'll get with it. So these are the 2000 X-Men's. So you got Magneto, you got James Marsden back as Cyclops, Rebecca Roman as Mystique. So that was a big, and then we got some more X-Men people. But what about those initial guys? What are you thinking there?
I mean, it's cool that they're back.
Yeah.
My only thing is that you have James Marsden, which means you have the opportunity to do the funniest thing possible.
Oh yeah.
Which is to put him in a car with Rocket Raccoon next to him.
Yes.
And if you don't do that, this movie's a failure.
Just like they do in Sonic. If everybody doesn't get that, it's in Sonic.
And
yeah, the guy from
he was in the hit movie, like Hop.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Hop.
Where it was him in a CG bunny.
Yes. Yeah, I forgot about that. Holy shit. So you have that movie, or you have those characters. They're going to be joined by 2 X-Men United. Alan Cumming, a Nightcrawler. Wait, that was Alan Cumming who played Nightcrawler?
Mm-hmm.
My mind is blown right now. That was Alan Cumming? You mean the villain from Spy Kids? Wait a second. That just blew my mind. I love Alan Cumming. So, fun fact, Katie waited on him in a restaurant in her hometown. That's fun stuff. Kelsey Grammer is back as Beast, which is amazing.
That's the funniest one of them all.
Yeah, that's the crazy shit. It's so wild that like 4 months ago, I sat down with Kelsey Grammer and told him that I loved him as Beast. So you know what he did? He immediately picked up the phone and called Marvel and was like, guys, you gotta get me back in this movie.
So Alan Cumming,
yeah, while
filming the X-Men movies, was like, I'll also be the villain in the Spy Kid trilogy.
Yeah. Did you never see the Spy Kids?
I've never seen Spy Kids, no.
Oh, dude, that one, there's like a quote from the one, because I think it's Spy Kids 3, where it's like epic, and he's like creating the thumbs or whatever. They're like the villains that are like thumbs for heads. It's a great movie. But he says like, he's like creating these things, and he has some line. It's like it's a famous meme of like, do you think God also looks upon his creations and weeps, or some shit like that? Like, It was like really heavy shit to put in a Spy Kids movie.
I want to have a quick conversation about this man's career.
Oh, it's amazing.
He goes from being a bit part in GoldenEye.
Yep.
To the Flintstones Viva
God.
Rock Vegas.
I forgot about that.
To then being cast in the second X-Men movie while also doing the Spy Kids movies.
Yeah. Now he yeah.
Late in his career when he's like, it's over, like I'll just, kind of have some fun, cash in. After doing movies like The Smurfs and Josie and the Pussycats and so on and so on. He now has a home renovation show that he does.
He also hosts a show called Traders, and he's fantastic in it.
I've seen that one. To me, is just not going to be for me. I can tell by the.
Well, So I
have seen stuff for that.
He basically plays a character in that, and it's really good. But yeah, he's just a fantastic individual.
And then has gotten the call to be like, "Oh, you want to come back for Nightcrawler?"
He's like, "Sure, why not?"
Okay. And then Kelsey Grammer.
Kelsey Grammer is beast.
I always thought Kelsey Grammer was a good beast. And we did, once again, Mike, you made positive life decisions. I didn't. He also showed up in the Marvels.
Yes.
So I forget who.
I watched the after credits scene.
Yeah, but the one woman is stuck in that universe.
Oh, okay.
We knew that, Kelsey had some talks about it. But then I think the next actor in this list is the most important one.
The most important one from X-Men is Channing Tatum's coming back as Gambit, which everybody seemed to love from Deadpool. So that's huge. Yeah. Also announcing Fantastic Four, new cast will be there. We have Namor coming back, which is awesome. And I think they said they're going to announce Robert Downey Jr.'s Doctor Doom. I think we got most of them there, Chris. But yeah. I mean, they're basically bringing. It's like, so Doomsday is turning into like the X-Men crossover event.
It's turning into Avengers versus X-Men.
Yeah, which is fine. I just hope it's done well.
At the end of the day, I was having this conversation with a family member. These Marvel movies, to me, like the first part where we ended in Endgame, like that's a thing, and it was amazing, and it was great what they pulled off. I think a lot of people have nostalgia about it and forget how bad some of those movies are.
Yeah.
Now we're at a point where I just have fun with them because I can't believe it's still going on.
Right. Yeah.
And to me, it's gotten into the same comic book. I don't want to say monotony, but like that flow that I have with comics where, I'm going to watch them. I'm going to keep going until they stop doing it. Because one day they're going to stop doing it. And I'm going to miss it, Mike.
Right. Yeah. We're going to all miss it. Yeah.
Yeah. And these Avengers movies, they're the big event comic of the summer. Like that's, I just want to see as many people on this movie as possible doing crazy shit. And let's see if they can pull it off. It doesn't have to be a great movie. It just has to be fun.
Hey man, we got Patrick Stewart back, so I don't care.
But all I will say is that once this is done, these X-Men characters, you just let them go.
Let them go.
And we need to move on with the new X-Men.
Nothing announced by Wolverine that Hugh Jackman as Wolverine though. What do you think? Do you think he'll make an appearance?
I think he'll make it in him and Deadpool will make it in Secret Wars. I think they're saving that for Secret Wars.
Yeah, that makes sense.
This is going to be the Avengers versus X-Men. The X-Men come over to the MCU and the fight happens and Doom's behind the whole thing. And then at some point, the Beyonder is going to come and create Battle World. And that's going to be our big like Infinity War moment where, oh no, we lost. And then we switch over to, that's how it's going to go. So there's missing characters here. And I get it. A lot of people are talking about the Spider-Man. Spider-Man's not in the movie.
Oh, yeah, true.
They obviously didn't watch Far From Home because we retconned that he exists, basically.
Right.
Nobody knows about him, so why would he show up all of a sudden?
Yep.
I'm just down. I'm down for all this. I want it. I just want to see this Fantastic Four movie at this point. Like,
yeah, I can't wait for that.
Was it July? Fantastic Four and Superman?
And Superman.
I'm here for it,
it's
man.
my month, baby. Can't wait.
Yeah. So,
this is really cool. During last week's Nintendo Direct, we got some video game news. It was announced that publisher Dotemu and developer Tribute Games, the team behind the really fun and famous TMNT Shredder's Revenge game that I loved, are joining forces again for a new side-scrolling beat-em-up titled Marvel Cosmic Invasion. The title will let you play as Captain America, Wolverine, Spider-Man, Storm, Phyla-Vell, I don't know who that is, Venom, and Nova. Who's Phyla-Vell, Chris?
Phyla-Vell is a Captain Marvel, basically.
Okay. Is it the one with the mohawk?
No.
Oh, she's like a badass, like with a skull on her chest. Okay.
Cool. Yeah, there's different versions of her because you'll see one that's more Captain Marvel like.
Mm-hmm.
But
this is awesome. I love this game. I love Shredder's Revenge. I love those side scroller beat 'em ups. To do it in the classic sense of Marvel is just really cool, I think.
Yeah. It's either, I gotta look it up. It's because I've been out of the video game thing recently these past couple months, but they re-released all the old side scroller beat 'em ups for Marvel as part of like the Capcom Fighting Collection, which was a weird decision.
Yeah.
And I would love to replay those because I remember playing a lot of those when I was a kid.
They're
like
awesome.
the Avengers ones and the Spider-Man, like the Maximum Carnage one.
Yeah, they're amazing.
And there's a Punisher one that's really funny. I enjoyed Shredder's Revenge as well. This, though, is my jam. Like, Marvel in a beat 'em up, and we're doing Annihilation as the big villain.
Yeah.
Fucking
that's
all
awesome.
The money. Sign me up, man. I'm here.
Yeah.
I will be all over this book this game when it comes out.
Yeah, I love Shredder's Revenge. I thought they did a really good job with it, so I'm pumped for this.
My only thing I'll say, because this is my complaint with Shredder's Revenge, you're going to do it because it makes you money. Don't take the coolest person I could play as and make him an unlockable that you have to pay for or beat the game like 3 times to get.
Yeah, because I never played as Joey. Not Joey. What's his name? Is that his name? The hockey stick guy, right? Casey.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's all I wanted to play as.
I know, and I wasn't going to beat it that many times to play as. Yeah. No, I get it. I feel the same way. Yeah, but I'm excited for this. I like that this is getting, like, they're bringing back these old games, old style.
I like that these exist. Like, it's good nostalgia, and
they're fun couch co-op games too.
Yeah, they're just good video games. Like, not everything needs to be fucking Grand Theft Auto 6.
Yeah, true.
As a matter of fact, I would like less Grand Theft Auto 6, please.
Yeah, more fun stuff.
Yeah.
Comic news, everybody.
Comics.
DC announced a new miniseries from writer Jeff Lemire because he's not doing enough already. Artist Dustin Nugent, titled Robin and Batman, Jason Todd. They threw us for a loop there with the Robin first. Batman has a new Robin, Jason Todd. Jason Todd is a rash, impulsive, and reckless kid with a troubled past, who Batman was certain could be molded into Gotham's next protector, but can the Dark Knight save Jason Todd from the darkness within himself? And when mysterious new villain shrouded in white cloth and mystery sets sights on Jason, Batman realizes that even he has what it takes to train the anger and torment out of the young ward. I'm not a huge Jason Todd fan.
I don't know if you remember a year ago, maybe?
Yeah.
They did Robin and Batman, the same, Jeff Lemire and Nugent. And it was for Dick Grayson. And I didn't like it. But I'm not
a huge Robin fan in general.
Yeah, you really need to do something or have a special team.
Yeah.
And to be fair, Lemire and Nugent have done some really great books, but it just has to blow me away for that. And Jason Todd I care less about.
Yeah, not a huge fan. So,
no offense, but the biggest thing about Jason Todd is they died.
Yeah, right. He's the one that died. Yeah.
Yeah, and then he resurrected and he's pseudo Punisher now.
Yeah, it's weird.
Good on that. It's only 3 issues. Good on them. I hope it does well. But it's definitely not for us.
But there's definitely Robin fans that are Robin fans for sure.
Oh, and and people have their Robin because listen, when Damian shows up, that's the Robin I knew for a long time, so I like that Robin. But you got people who grew up with Jason Todd that love him. I know so many people that come to the comic shop that will buy anything that's Red Hood. So
so good for that.
Yeah.
Dark Horse announced a new comic in association with Mattel, a series titled Masters of the Universe Andra. The series will be written by Tiffany Smith, the voice of Andra in the Masters of the Universe Revelations cartoon, with art by Adriana Melo. Adapting her new role at Man-at-Arms, Andra finds herself struggling with new cadets. They must be ready to fight against any and all threats, magical or otherwise. But if Andra can't believe in herself, how can she expect others to follow her lead when a call for assistance on Orcus Island turns out to be a magical threat from the evil Count Marzo? Andra will have to delve into her past, use technical know-how, and find her own power if she hopes to save Eternia. Yeah, that's pretty dope. I'm a fan of these Masters of the Universe books. I do like what they did with Andra in the show. I do think it's a really cool thing that the voice actress is writing the character. I think that's interesting.
We're seeing that more and more now, which is kind of cool.
I think it's a pretty cool thing. Yeah, good on them for expanding the universe. I think, Masters of the Universe is awesome, so more of that stuff.
Yeah, everything here is cool. For me, I just want the next cartoon. That's all I really care about.
Yeah, I know.
Although it doesn't seem like we're gonna get it.
I guess
I haven't heard anything about it.
I haven't either. Usually Kevin Smith is all about that stuff, talking about it.
Yeah, I know right now you saw that you can get Chainsaw Bob in Call of Duty, right?
Oh, you can?
Yeah, that's either coming out or is out. Everybody's been sending it to me.
My God.
So yeah, he's got that going on. He's got the Archie comic we talked about.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he's working on a new Chainsaw Bob movie. It's been a while.
Yeah.
But let's see. I was just doing a quick. Yeah, see, when you search it, it's all either about this new comic or the movie, which would suck because I think that show is really fucking good.
I really like that show. I wish they would do more of it. Damn. Yeah, this almost sounds like it's just going to be a continuation without any. This almost to me would be like the plot of season 3, right? Because she takes up Man of Arms and.
Maybe a little bit, but like it's also, it feels like a side quest.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
So it feels like you could have done this book and then led into the next season, and it wouldn't have really hurt people who didn't read it. But then for fans like you would have gotten a little more. And
right. I guess we'll see. Yeah. Hopefully, we get more of it.
Yeah.
Mad Cave announced a new crossover series bringing together characters from Mark London's Underworld interconnected universe of comics titled Endless Night. The series will be written by Mark London and art by Tom Derenick. When Axel Black, an obsessive tech billionaire and head of the sinister Order of Nine, sends his operatives to Exit City in search of a dangerous mystical artifact, only a team of unlikely allies from different corners of the underworld can prevent an apocalyptic catastrophe. Velveteen, the elite rogue assassin hellbent on revenge, McCormick and Miller, two detectives keeping peace in the lawless city, and Owen Blackwood, a monster hunter duty-bound to stop evil. Tensions are mounting, time is running out. That's cool that he's bringing all these characters together. I've never read any of these books. Have you?
No. When they were announced, I wanted to, but just life has gotten so busy. I
know. There's so many books out now that it's like, damn, it looks epic. I think the art looks awesome. These characters sound really cool. I'm a huge fan of Mark London and all the cool stuff he's doing.
Yeah, I love what they're doing over there. He did miss an opportunity here, though.
Yeah.
So I believe the link I sent you is to the press release. Yes. So it says, blah, blah, heroes by celebrated writer Mark London, Battlecast, blah, blah. And acclaimed artist Tom Derenick, Justice League. Tom Derenick is the artist of the great, great crossover book, Colonel Sanders Meets the Green Lanterns. Now, why don't lead with that?
Why are we not talking about this? This really is the second crossover event book, is what you're saying. That's amazing. I forgot that was a thing.
Dude, as soon as his name popped up on this, I got the email and it popped up. My book looks cool. Everybody go check it out. Yeah. But I got the email. It pops up and I look at it. I go, Tom Derenick? And I just sat there for a second. I'm at work. Mm-hmm. And I said out loud, it's the Colonel Sanders guy. And the guy in the car that's sitting next to me driving the vehicle is just like, what are you talking about? And I had to explain to him about Tom Derenick and how they made these 2 issues where Colonel Sanders met the Green Lanterns, became a Green Lantern.
Yeah. And they were probably like, what the hell? That's wild. That's probably the craziest book to ever draw.
Yeah. But good on Tom, too, because he's been he's been a B artist at DC for a long time, doing kind of the grunt work at DC Comics.
Yeah.
And never had his shot. And he's a great artist. He really is. Like, he puts in really cool books. So, hopefully he knocks us out of the park, and this means he can be more of a regular artist in some.
Yeah, it's a pretty big book to be on, so that's cool. A couple more things from Mad Cave.
I'll sit this one out.
Okay. Yeah, a new series titled Bitchcraft.
Right there, I'm out.
That's it.
Terrible title. I'm sorry.
BYTCH Craft. From writer Aaron Reese and artist Lima Curl. Set against the backdrop of modern day New York City, during a seemingly permanent supernatural eclipse, Bitchcraft falls, a queer coven bound by magic and blood, each bringing their own flair to the craft to pretentious oracle who speaks with gods, an emo necromancer with a forked tongue, and a nature witch with the soul of a fairy tale princess. Under the guidance of their enigmatic guardian, Mother MTHR, the Coven discovers they're at the center of an ancient prophecy, and all which kind hangs in the balance. Yeah, definitely not for me. The art looks kind of crazy on that main cover. That's interesting. So I guess Aaron Reese has passed away.
Yeah, so I was gonna get to that. This was a book that was on Webtoons for a while.
Okay.
And he had been like slowly crafting it over the years with his creators or co-creators.
Mm-hmm.
And he had passed before they actually finished it.
Damn, that sucks.
And Mad Cave, along with his family and everything, got together to publish this. So like, first there's a message from his mother because he's now like the first in his family to ever get like published or do something like this, and it's really heartwarming and good on Mad Cave for
That's
bringing
really
this
cool.
together.
Yeah,
I just got to be real with everybody. It's not for me.
Yeah.
I mean, right at the top, you can see created by the late Aaron Reese. Bitchcraft is a love letter to queer friendship.
Yeah.
And nothing against that. I'm glad it exists. I don't have friends and I'm not queer.
Yeah, I mean, the book's not for you, right?
So it's not made for me. So any opinion I have on what it looks like, I guess throw it out the door because it's not supposed to be for me. Also, the art it feels like a webtoon to me.
Yeah,
I think it's good, but it doesn't.
The main cover looks good, but then when you get to the interiors, it is webtoony.
This is the first Mad Cave book I've looked at in a while, and outside of the synopsis of it that doesn't seem interesting to me, it doesn't look like it has that same quality balance that I normally and I hate saying this because we just talked about the dude passed away recently and this is like his blah blah. It also has some very obvious things behind it when you really dig into it. Like there's commentary about Christian faith and all this stuff, and it's like I know exactly where this is all going and I don't need to read it. So this one not so much for me, but the next one is. We can talk about that one.
Yeah, I will say good on Mad Cave for taking a chance on a book like this. But like you said, the interior art, when it doesn't match the cover like that and it kind of feels like a webtoon, it doesn't hold the same weight as some of their other books for sure.
I will say, to add on to that, webtoons are really popular. So
that's true.
We could be like in the minority on this one.
There could have been 100,000 people that read that webtoon. You know what I mean? So,
I'm super open to being wrong. Like I always joke, I've been wrong once before. I look at it, what I see here now from my ivory tower. I'm like, I don't see why they picked this book, but maybe.
One more announcement here from Mad Cave, a new series titled "Don't Forget Your Briefcase" from writer Elliot Rahal and artist Philip Savy.
Former guest of the show,
Philip Savy. Everywhere the president goes, there's a military liaison who follows, carrying a briefcase with the codes of a nuclear strike. And it's just been lost. This is a story about what happens when a 10-year-old boy finds a nuclear football and accidentally brings the world to the brink of annihilation. That sounds fun. Like a lot of nuclear annihilation fun. Interior art looks great. Yeah, this is pretty cool. I'm sure nothing will go wrong. Yeah, sounds like a fun idea that they have. So that sounds.
Yeah, it sounds goofy and fun. Like Philip's done some really cool work throughout his career, so I'm sure the book's going to be fantastic looking. I mean, these pages are great. I love these first couple pages where it just goes through the years of the different presidents.
Yeah,
starting with JFK.
Yep,
making his way all the way. I mean, I'm guessing when this book was written or created was probably last year before the election, so it ends with Biden.
Yep.
It just sounds like a goofy concept that could end up being like a fun, we just had an interview about an all ages book. It could be a fun, like, kid gets in a weird position and action movie from like the 80s. So I'll be down to check this one out.
Yeah, it looks fun.
This sounds way up my.
I just got so much stuff to read that I might.
Dude,
there's so much stuff on my list.
like it's.
But good on Mad Cave for having 3 separate projects that are all completely different genres and styles. So
Yeah, and that's the thing too. Like all of these books they announced, 2 of them weren't really for us. One was really for me.
Yep.
Next week they're gonna announce something that's gonna be way up Mike's alley.
Yeah. They're doing some crazy stuff over there.
Good on them. Working. Even when I disagree with them, I still kind of applaud them for it.
Yeah, they have some good vision over there.
And dude, they started pull the curtain back a little, Mike. They sent me information about their manga division they just started, right?
Sick.
And so we're in on that to get information about it, even though we don't talk about manga much on the show.
Yeah, we don't. Yeah.
And I started seeing some of the books that they've pulled, and I'm just like, holy fuck, man.
Yeah.
They got some that look really cool. Like if you go into their news section, what was the one they just announced? The Architect's Epiphany.
Mm-hmm.
And it's more of a Chinese book than a Japanese book, but I mean, it still has that manga flair, and it looks so fucking cool.
Yeah, I'll probably be checking those out too.
So they just they're killing it all, friends.
Yeah, they are. They are killing it. I guess we'll talk about what we read this week, Chris. What I didn't get to, I didn't get to Metamorpho, the new issue 4 this week. I saw Peacemaker Presents Vigilante and Eagly are out. I did not read that issue yet, but I did grab it because I was like, I got to read this.
Okay.
So stuff I caught up on. Aquaman number 3, like you said, he's being brought to this demon lord Dagon. He's going to be a new vessel for the Blue, but still don't know or see anything about Apocalypse or what's going on with those symbols. Haven't heard anything, so still waiting to see. I've caught up on. So I read One World Under Doom, both issues. I think it's a great series. I think Doom curing Ben in the second issue and then working with the villains. The Avengers are going to start working with the villains to beat Doom. I think is kind of cool at the end of the second issue.
I was thinking, I didn't mention that last week.
Yeah.
Master of Evil show up.
Yeah.
Fucking MODOK.
Yeah, MODOK's
like,
there.
How did I forget to mention that?
Yeah, that was sick. And then I go into the latest issue of Fantastic Four, issue 30, before they do the new number 1. And the title's fun because it crossed out and it says Fantastic 3 instead of Fantastic 4 because this takes place immediately after One World Under Doom. You probably don't need to read it, but I read it and I loved it. And I thought it was one of the better Fantastic Four issues in this run. So this is all about Ben struggling with not being the Thing, which was really cool because it's the opposite side of this man, this monster, of him struggling with being the Thing.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a whole exploration of that. He goes on he's all depressed, and so Alicia gets him to go out on a date, and someone tries to mug them, and the Thing would usually, he puts his hand over the gun because he's usually made out of rock, and the dude shoots through his hand, and so he ends up in the hospital. Yeah, he ends up in the hospital even more depressed. So he goes to Alicia's dad, who, if anybody doesn't know, he's a supervillain that molds things out of clay, and that's, they say, how originally Ben Grimm came about. And he says, I want you to make me back into the Thing. And he basically gives him a molded version of himself with this magical clay of just a human. He's like, you do what you want. So what he does is he makes the clay figure being a permanent smile. So he's appearing to be happy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really depressing because Alicia's like, oh, I know he's not himself because he's been smiling all day. And so they go back. She sees her dad's in prison because he's a supervillain. It's really sad. So they end up smashing the clay thing, and she says, you're fine the way you are, kind of thing. But that's how it resolves. And it's it was a great issue. Highly recommend it. And it takes place right after One World Under Doom number 2. So
cool.
Great issue. Godzilla versus Fantastic Four number 1, with the JRR doing the art and North writing this one. Yeah. Great issue. Really fun issue. You have Fantastic Four taking out Godzilla. They drop a building on him, and then King Ghidorah shows up, but he's the Herald of Galactus King Ghidorah, which is amazing. So then how do you stand up to the Herald of Galactus? Well, you have to have Silver Surfer come in and give the power cosmic to Godzilla. Crazy stuff in this issue. This is the fanboy issue of Godzilla. So they defeat King Ghidorah, and Reed does a Jean-Luc Picard style captain's log at the end. I thought it was pretty epic. That was awesome. A Star Trek New Generation style note taking. It was that was what I expected out of my Godzilla vs. Fantastic Four. That's exactly what I wanted.
Yeah, and it makes me feel like so I think the rest of the issues are going to be Galactus finding different Godzilla villains throughout the cosmos to send to Earth.
I hope so.
Which, awesome.
Yeah.
I'm so into that.
Throughout the ages, yeah.
Yeah, like it's dude, I love this issue.
Yeah.
Quick anecdote story. So I had the missus over yesterday, and I didn't pick my comics up till Saturday morning. Everybody, I'm a terrible comic fan, but I went and bought my comics, and then I picked her up, and she spent the day over here. I made dinner for her, and she was like, after dinner, she's like, "It was so good," like, and praising me up and everything. And then we went upstairs and decided to sit down and read. And the first thing I picked up was Godzilla vs. Fantastic Four. And when I picked it up, I just looked at it and go, Godzilla!
Hell yeah.
And she just looks at me and I go, yes, this is the man you love. Just shook her head. But yeah, dude, that book, I was smiling from ear to ear the entire time reading it.
Yeah, it was an absolute blast. I can't wait for more of these.
I'm so excited for more of these. Like, exactly everybody go pick it up.
Yep. Absolute Wonder Woman number 6, I thought was an amazing issue. It's basically a whole conversation with Hades, and we see that, you know, she gets captured by Hades, has to empty her bag. She has 3 different colored lassos, which is crazy. We find out about, like, the one of them. He basically has her mother trapped, and we get a bunch of small side stories of, like, how she acquired and did what she did, got these weapons. It was pretty awesome. This whole conversation with Hades and how they depict Hades, I thought was really cool. So that, yeah, it was a really good issue. And then I got one last book I got to this week. I read Absolute Martian Manhunter number 1 by Denise Camp and Javier Rodriguez. A lot more noir than I thought. You probably would like it if you didn't read it. It's an interesting first issue. He's like an FBI agent, like 60s, 70s noir, lots of weird colors and vibrant, like, painting colors. It almost reminds me of the MK Ultra book, Chris.
Mm-hmm.
That style tone. And so basically it starts off like he was in an explosion and, like, recovering from an incident with the FBI, and like investigating a case, and there's an explosion, and I'm not sure if he doesn't remember he's the Martian Manhunter or doesn't know, but they also did this epic thing with the comic book where the last page he's, like, losing his mind and seeing all this colorful smoke everywhere, and I couldn't do it with the digital copy, obviously, but if you held up the back page to, like, the sun, it, like, shone through what, like, it's supposed to, like, be he sees the face finally at the end of the issue, and it says, I'm the fucking Martian Mindhunter or something like that. Like, that's the reveal, and he's like, oh my god, he's, like, on the floor, like, didn't realize he was that. But it's cool how they did that, because, like, you can only do that with a comic book, where the art on one side bleeds through the other side. It's really cool, and I saw people posting about it online. It's a really good first issue. I don't know where. Hopefully, there's a little more structure in the next issue, but it was really interesting with the colors, and a lot different than the other Absolute books, which is good. It's nice to have a change of pace, I think, from styles, and I think it fits the character and what they're trying to do. So it was really cool. I'm glad I read it.
Yeah.
And that's all I had this week.
A couple I wanted to talk about from last week. Herculoids number 2 came out.
Sick.
And I just love the Herculoids. It's a ton of fun.
Nice.
It's not really it's not reinventing the wheel like Space Ghost is.
Yep.
So I don't recommend it as hard, but I think it's a fun, like, Saturday morning cartoon comic book. Like, 6 months late, Mike, is Superman: The Last Days of Lex Luthor, number 2.
Holy crap. Yep.
This is an interesting issue because did you read the first one?
I did not. I don't think I did. I can't remember. I might have. It's been so long ago.
It's a Mark Waid, Brian Hitch Superman comic, so
yeah, I probably did.
You might want to wait till it all comes out, because 6 months in between issues is a little much.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So at this point, we find out that Lex has this incurable disease that's going to kill him, and he goes to Superman because Superman's the only one that can help him. And so Superman now is going from place to place trying to figure out what's wrong with him and see what he can do. And the first place he decides to go is into the 31st century to talk to the Legion of Superheroes.
Sick.
Who can't figure it out. He then decides to go back to his time to talk to Wonder Woman, because they have the purple ray that can heal anything.
Yeah.
And, like, that's a whole fight, because she's, like everybody else, trying to figure out why the fuck he's trying to save Lex Luthor. The purple ray doesn't work, so they decide to go down into the ocean. And you would think they go to Atlantis, Mike, but they don't. They go to a little known place in the ocean. And I only know about this because of something I was reading recently. So it's actually coincidence that popped up, is Tritonus, and it's a city kind of like Atlantis, but it's deep into the ocean where everything is, like, on reefs and pearls. It's like the hippie version of Atlantis.
Okay. Honestly. Interesting. Yeah.
And I found out about this because there's a character down there, and I forgot her name, so I was trying to look it up real quick while I was talking, that Superman actually falls in love with and almost marries at one point.
Oh, yeah.
And
they brought this up in the Aquaman book.
Did Lori Lemaris?
She shows up at the end of Aquaman 3 or something, I think.
That's right. Yeah. That's why I was looking it up. Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, so they go down there and talk to her, and she knows of a fruit that could heal healed the Mad King at one point, and blah blah blah. So they go and hunt for it and give it to Luthor, and all it does is give him introspection of all the terrible things he's done, but doesn't heal his. We'll just call it cancer because it's basically cancer,
right?
And then we have like a montage where Superman just goes to everybody. He goes to Oa. He goes to Adam Strange. He goes to the Spectre, so on and so forth, to find a cure, and they can't figure it out. And then right as he's ready to give up, that's when Brainiac shows up. So it was a really cool issue. We got to see some characters we don't see much in modern comics, and it was such a Mark Waid book to like pull out these obscure. Mind you, this was supposed to come out almost 6 months ago, so that character he plucked out was as obscure could be at that point.
Yeah.
And I thought it was really good. I just wish it would come out in a more timely manner.
Yeah.
Quick Kickstarter book from a friend of the show we had on recently, but Cocaine Stripper Stronghold.
Nice.
I picked that up. It's a fun zombie book with a stripper who ends up living with this old man who's this crazy old man who reminds me of somebody I know too. And yeah, trying to survive the zombie apocalypse. So if you like zombie stuff, go check it out. I thought it was fun. As an extension of the Conan Barbarian universe, Solomon Kane #1 came out. I thought it was good. It's done. If anyone read the Savage Sword of Conan anthology they've been putting out, Patrick Zurcher did a story in there for Solomon Kane for like the first 3 issues, I think it was. And I really liked it, so that's why I picked up this, because he's also doing this book. And my only complaint is, and I get it, Solomon Kane hasn't had his own comic in 15 years and hasn't had a novel in over 30. Yeah. So it's not like he's a well-known character. But this first issue is really just setting him up. This is who he is. This is the world we're living in, which is more of a 1500s Europe. And he's the Conan the Barbarian-esque character, but of that era. Like, there's going to be a lot of talk of, like, he works for the church. He is out to avenge the enemies of Spain and Europe and all that. There's a lot of, like, actually, probably right in colonial era Europe going on, which is an interesting setting for a book like this.
Right.
And he finds this serpent artifact that has extreme powers, and now is trying to figure out what's going on with it. So that was a good book. And then, Mike, I've been talking about it for fucking almost 2 months now, but I read Batman 158.
Nice.
So if you remember going into this, I just finished Batman Hush.
Yeah.
I got more and more excited about this book as it's going on. The excitement got sucked right out of me. It literally, the book starts, and I'm like, we've done this before. And it's literally one of Joker's henchmen got a bunch of piranha. Tell me if this sounds familiar, Mike. Got a bunch of piranhas, painted them to look like the Joker, and is sending them into the Gotham Reservoir. It's one of the earliest Joker fucking stories ever put on paper.
Yeah.
And we find out that Joker is actually being controlled by this new character who I still don't understand, and is being forced to do this repeat. So it's part of the story that, like, Batman's like, no, he's done this before, and he never repeats the same joke. So why is he doing it? And we find out it's because this new character showed up, and that new character is connected to Hush.
Oh, okay.
And so we get at the end where Hush shows up and is just like torturing Joker by using surgical scalpels to, like, cut his arteries but not kill him. You know, going with the, once again, like, he's Thomas Elliot, blah blah blah. And the way Batman figures out that Hush is back is because he walks into the amusement park that Joker used to own, where he's hung up, all like bleeding out but still alive. And he's like, oh, it's Hush. I thought it was a lame intro.
Yeah.
That's a really lame intro.
Lame.
But it's 6 issues, so I'm just going to finish it. Fuck it.
Yeah.
We're getting a new Batman book after 6 months. and I'm probably going to pick that one up. So
Right.
I'll just read the 6 issues and see how it goes. But I thought it was a bad intro.
I wish we didn't say we saw it coming, man.
It's 1 issue, so we'll see.
Yeah,
but
we'll see.
It didn't get it. And then quick, I read Atticus and the Magical Pill for it. We talk a lot about it in the interview, but it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And then I promise you, we talk about baseball a little bit, Mike.
Oh, hell yeah.
Mad Cave Studios is putting out a book this Wednesday called Pastime.
That's right.
And it's the vampire baseball book.
Yeah.
So you're introduced, I'm not going to tell too much, but you're introduced to the book 1988, which is the year I was born, Mike.
Sick.
And it's a guy telling a story about an old barnstorm baseball team back before the MLB was like really big, and they had these like basically how wrestling used to have like the territories.
Mhm.
Baseball had something similar where they had all these like teams, and they eventually like come together and become the MLB that we know. So he's telling a story about like the 20s. And it's about this guy who's supposedly the greatest baseball player ever.
Mhm.
And it starts off with a murder mystery. And then we slowly get hints that people involved may not be entirely human.
Of course.
It's a slow burn intro.
Yeah.
I'll warn everybody of that. You're not going to... I'm not going to say that. Pick it up and check it out. I think it's really good. It's a slow burn.
Mhm.
But I enjoyed it, and I will definitely be picking up issue 2. And I think it's ingenious that it's coming out this Wednesday,
Right.
as we just talked about opening day for football or for baseball this week.
Yeah, it was a good idea.
And I was trying to look up the creators, and I don't know what either of them have done in the past because it's not much. So
well, this is it. This will be their mark.
this is their big chance. But
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. I think it's a 4-issue series. Definitely check it out.
Nice. Yeah, I'm going to be reading it.
So, Mike, that was everything I read this week. Where can people find you on the internet?
You can find me at Fortress Ricker on X/Twitter. Where can they find you and or the show?
You can find me at Fortress Chris on X, Blue Sky, all those social media networks. Maybe that new one that I'm hearing about that's being tested.
Yep.
We'll find out. And also at chriscomicscorner.substack.com, where you can read my conversation about all of Batman Hush and then find out about what's next in that line. Like, it's going to be Kool-Aid Man Comics. It's going to be awesome.
Hell yes. That's what we need.
And then you can find the show at Fortress Pod on all the social media networks as well. Also at fortresscomnews.com. If you want a sports show, best ways to do it: 5-star reviews on the podcatcher of your choice, whether that's Spotify, Apple iTunes, or whatever you're using. Like, subscribe, share, comment down below on the YouTube version of the show. And you can head over to patreon.com/fortresscomics for more. Thank you all so much for watching and or listening this week. We'll see you here next week.